Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And this one is an actual request. In fact, I've got 3 of them. I scarcely believe it. So, this first one then, because I'm going to do them in order that I received them, comes from... this is one where I really had to write the name down. WLTE Train, Plane and Bus Master 7014. There's a name that rolls off the tongue. Yeah, our starting point might be a bit familiar to some of you, especially if you are regular viewers of this, because for the 3rd consecutive video we are on the West Coast Main Line South and we are starting at Euston. Getting very familiar with this station. So for this, he's wanting a semi-fast service to, well, the request was initially to Northampton, but I don't have the Northampton Loop, well not yet anyway, so I'm having to, do this as a run to Milton Keynes, which he was okay with. Which is a good job, because that is the closest I can get to it. Now, semi-fast service, as far as the quick drive is concerned, it's slow. I'm okay with that, because if I chose the fast service, it would put us on so many, avoiding lines that, we probably wouldn't be able to stop at half the stations that he's listed for us. So we do have some very specific stops here. So we are stopping at Harrow Wealdstone, Watford Junction, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted, Tring, Leighton Buzzard, Bletchley, and then finally Milton Keynes. Well, Milton Keynes Central as it should be, but the game, certainly as far as on here and when you're at Milton Keynes Central station itself, it just says Milton Keynes there. I can only assume they have more than one station there. I've never been to the place, so I couldn't tell you. But anyway, enough waffle. As for our train, again, he was quite specific about this one. So it's a class 321. It's not one of my favourite locos, but I'm very familiar with the 321s. When they were running around Southend, we had plenty of them. So it's a 12 car 321. I've given it the London Midland livery, because that is absolutely the livery for this particular route. And as for the specifics, it is summer, it is overcast, and it is 6:30 p.m. so it's an early evening run. It's not going to be a night run though, so nothing to worry about there. So that is the setup. Let's get this up and running. So, here we are. Now, master key is already in and set, so let's get the reverser sorted out. And, right, let's get the lights done. I mean, it is still daylight, so I'll set it into day mode. Don't need any of those. Tail lights I'm pretty sure are already off, so everything there is fine. Let's set our destination. I've got to try and remember the destination code for Milton Keynes, 00191. Okay, so 00191. There we go, Milton Keynes Central. There's a slightly unusual setup in here because in order for me to, first of all disable that annoying driver vigilance device. The other thing is I want the passenger doors to be guard operated, so there we go. That's everything sorted out there. Okay, let's take a look. Here is our 12 car 321 at London Euston. Let's let everyone on board. I've got to try and remember the key for opening the doors. There we go. So once everything is done and dusted here, we will be on our way. The old telecom tower, post office tower as I still think of it. Certainly very quiet here. I mean, you would never see Euston this quiet. It looks like we're the only train here and there is barely anyone on the platforms. I mean, yeah, not a particularly realistic portrayal of Euston, that. Right, we are all set. Let's get underway. So our first stop then is Harrow and Wealdstone. Milton Keynes is 57.6 miles away, so yeah, it's not a short hop. And that is not a good start. So the train hasn't left the platform and I've already got a speeding error. So yeah, we're really off to a flyer. So we're into a 25 zone now. I forgot to set that. Not that it really does anything. It's just there to remind you how many cars this train is made up of. So we're now in a 40 zone. And yeah, let's try and get some speed up here. I don't know what the max speed of this thing is. Usually it's written down somewhere, but I can't see it. Oh well. It's probably somewhere around sort of 90. Alright, into the 50 zone, but not for very long. We enter a 40 zone, so yeah, we won't accelerate yet. We'll wait until we're in the 75 zone. We've got quite a steep downhill section which we are approaching, and when I say quite steep, I mean extremely steep. So here we are into the 40 zone. We need to start applying brakes though, because yeah, we're on a 1 in 34 downhill section. Probably don't need to apply the brakes that hard actually. This thing has much better brakes than I thought. So now on a 1 in 43 uphill. But once the entire train has passed the entrance to this tunnel, then firstly we'll have levelled out, and secondly we will be in the 75 zone. Hey, there we go, we're into the 75. Now we can get some decent speed up. Well, until we reach the first station anyway. So yeah, the old 321 emus, they're not a favourite. I don't absolutely hate them, you know, it's not like they're another 142. But I certainly remember them well enough, because on the Southend Victoria line to Liverpool Street in the 90s, yeah, it was nothing but 321s on that route. So whenever I took the Liverpool Street line to London, yeah, it was always on 321s. But back then I still really liked the old slam door trains, the old 305s that we still had on the Fenchurch Street line. So yeah, I was much more of a fan of the 305s on the LTS line than I was of the 321s. Not that I didn't like the 321s, but whenever I was a passenger on one, I never really got much of a sense of speed. It always felt like we were going fairly slowly as we go through Queen's Park Station. And that's despite the fact that the Liverpool Street line, the max speed on that route is 90 mph. So in fact we were shifting quite a bit while we were on there, but it just never felt like it. Whereas on the Fenchurch Street line, the LTS line, in the old 305s, it really did feel like we were shifting, but the max speed on that route is 75. So try and figure that one out. I wouldn't try figuring it out too hard. It really doesn't make, you know, it's really not that important. So we're approaching a 90 mph zone. So I'm fairly sure that's the max this thing can do. I guess we'll find out. Although it does rather depend on you know, how far until we reach Harrow and Wealdstone station. It's certainly a fair-sized train. I mean, usually when I play this game, I use fairly short consists, as I'm sure many of you are already well aware. So I'm not too hot on the old very long passenger services, or yeah, very long sort of passenger trains. And to me, 12 cars is very long. But we'll see how we do. So anyway, we're into the 90 zone, but it is fairly short. We have to come down to 75 as we approach Wembley Central. We are not stopping there. start to slow down a little. Again, doing it way too early. It's still half a mile away, more than half a mile away, but the old 390. So here we are at the very gloomy old Wembley Central. So yeah, somewhere around here you can still see the arch of Wembley Stadium. So back in a 90 mph zone, we've got a 100 zone coming up, but I can't believe we will be able to do 100 in this. So this is another one of those locos that I'm not really a big fan of them, but they are pretty good to drive actually. So we're now in the 100 zone. And here is Harrow and Wealdstone station on the route display, so a mile and a half away. So we made it up to 93, so yeah, maybe this thing could do 100. Well, hopefully we'll get the chance to find out once we leave Harrow and Wealdstone. I don't know how far it is between there and Watford Junction. I don't think it's that big a gap actually. So, 12-car train getting onto this platform. We're going to have to go right at the very end. Yeah, I have rather overdone the braking. It does look like, yeah, we're not going to be able to get the whole train on here. So according to the display there, the front is still perfectly fine, but yeah, we're the other side of this barrier. Right, that's not the right key. Neither is that. What's the key to open the doors here? Right. Doors release, left hand side. Well, that's usually the key to open them on the left hand side. Oh, okay, it did open them. Hang on. Yeah, the first key I tried did open them, but yeah, of course, I made the mistake of looking at the front here, thinking, okay, why aren't they opening? Well, yeah, they never do when you're this close to the end of the platform. But I mean, look at that. That's fine. They can get out there, no problem. They can certainly get out of there, no problem. Now at the rear, yeah, there you got. Well, you got a problem there, but there you can get on fine, on and off. So yeah, I'm saying that one was all right. Only just, but yeah, it was all right. There we go. Right, let's get back underway. So actually, yeah, according to the symbol there, we did stop a bit short. We did well enough. Now, have we got enough distance between here and Watford Junction to see if we can get this thing up to 100 mph? Get a bit more audio. Yeah, I may have to rethink my opinion of the 321. This is a great one to drive. Okay, visually it's nothing special, but yeah, driving it in this game, yeah, consider me a fan. And if you're thinking, well, if you're not that much of a fan of this thing, as we pass the 221, then why did I get the Armstrong Powerhouse version? It's a pretty valid question. There's Bushy is the next station, but we are just going straight through there. The reason I got it is because it's not just the 321, it also comes with a 320, which admittedly I did already have anyway, and the 322, which I did not have. So yeah, it's basically yeah, increased my options as far as locos that are available. Got another 378 over there. We're going to be seeing a fair few of those. Go through Bushy station. Wow. Watford Junction is the next station, so gradual slow down again. Let's see if we can do a better job at the stop here than we did last time. Well, not the smoothest of stops, but yeah, easily got the entire train on it this time. So, Watford Junction, here we are. So in the time that we arrived and the time that we left, Watford FC have no doubt hired and sacked another 2 managers. Okay, onwards. Our next stop is Hemel Hempstead, the wild, untamed streets of. Looking at the route display, it looks like all 12 cars on this Emu are powered. So I dare say there's a fair bit of power in this loco, which would explain why we were able to get to 93 with absolutely no problems whatsoever. It really did look like we were going to be able to get to 100. Hopefully at some point we'll get the chance to do just that, but it's not, well, it's certainly not within the next couple of miles anyway. So we are in the 75 zone again. I think this curve may have something to do with it. But then we are entering a 90 zone the moment we enter the tunnel. It's a fair length tunnel, this. The trouble is, as soon as we leave it, we've got, yeah, we are in a 70 zone. So we'll just accelerate to 70 here. Kings Langley is the next station. We're just going straight through that. thing is, by the time we are actually in this 90 zone, the 75 mph limit will be right on top of us. So yeah, we'll only accelerate the 75. No real point going beyond that. But once we pass Langley Station, we're in a 100 zone then. So hopefully we'll get the chance to see how fast this thing can really go. So we're into the 75 zone. Here is Kings Langley Station. We're now entering the 100 zone. It's very short. So speed reduction down to 90 as we approach Apsley Station. Another one we're just going straight through. So we'll accelerate to 90 and stay there. Hemel Hempstead is the next station to go through Apsley. Of course, Hemel Hempstead we are stopping at there. I think I started braking a bit early, but well, I guess we'll find out. In fact, yeah, I don't think we're braking quite hard enough yet, but now we're braking too hard. No idea what that AWS alert was for, but yeah, we're coming in here quite rapid. Well, I thought I'd made a right mess of that stop, and in fact, we're pretty much perfect. So, and these doors haven't opened. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, that's a bit overboard, that. Anyway, here we are at Hemel Hempstead. It's supposed to be quite a nice place, old Hemel Hempstead. I mean, I've never been there, so I couldn't tell you, you know, from personal experience. But yeah, I hear it's quite nice. It's always struck me as being a bit dull. There's never really anything of any note that ever happens there, apart from that time when the oil refinery caught fire. Right. Onwards, our next stop is Berkhamsted. So do we have enough distance between here and Berkhamsted to try it for the 100 mph? We are in a 100 zone. Coming up here, looks like a 390. It is. In fact, it's a 390 that looks like it's absolutely stationary. We have an 85 mph speed reduction coming up. Entering a neutral zone. It looks like neutral zone functionality has not been programmed into this yeah, 321. Berkhamsted is actually the next station. Berkhamsted is one of those towns, but it doesn't matter how many attempts it takes me. If I'm writing it, I always spell it wrong. And after my third attempt, I'm still spelling it wrong. Yeah, I never really like it when stations are on curves like this. I always feel it's sort of asking for trouble, really. Looks like we might actually, yeah, I think we are going to get everything on here. No, we've overshot it slightly. But again, yeah, people can get out of both doors here absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm saying that's a successful stop. At the rear, yeah, absolutely no problems there. We have no passenger view. Okay, right. That is Berkhamsted done. Next stop is Tring. So even though all 12 cars are powered in this Emu, it is a bit slow pulling away from standstill. I mean, I dare say there's a fair bit of weight in this. I know Emus, by train standards, each individual unit is comparatively light, but you know, it's not like they weigh the same as a 2CV or something. There is still a reasonable amount of weight there. So approaching a fairly short tunnel. Once we exit the tunnel, we are entering a 90 zone. It's only a 5 mph increase. So yeah, here we are, entering the 90 zone now. And we're now in it. So I can only assume that this 321 pack that Armstrong Powerhouse still have available is one of their earlier ones, because by their standards it is somewhat basic. But it does give you a loco that, you know, you can't get any other way as we pass the 221. And it is comparatively cheap by Armstrong Powerhouse standards. It's only $16.99. So you can't really complain too much, I suppose. And I don't really like Armstrong Powerhouse pricing, as I think is well known by now. But I mean, compared to ATS, it's an absolute bargain. Then again, compared to ATS, going out and buying a 10 kilogram bar of palladium is an absolute bargain. Alright, we're definitely not slowing fast enough at the moment. Although at Berkhamsted, I mean, we came in to that station still doing well over 40 and we were fine. Well, alright, we overshot it very, very slightly. Don't think I should have reduced the brakes there actually. Yeah, it looks like we're going to fit on this one, no problem, yeah. Except we've got this bloody great fence in the way here. So according to our display, I have slightly overshot it. Yeah. Alright, the second coach opened, but again the first one didn't. Although, yeah, the fact we got this bloody great fence in the way, I'll forgive them that one. Why is that fence there? What purpose does that serve? If anyone is familiar with Tring Station and they know why it's there, yeah, feel free to let us know, because I'm buggered if I know what it, you know, why it's there. Anyway, that was Tring. So next stop is Leighton Buzzard, another of those wild, untamed streets of. So we are entering a 100 zone very soon, but I don't think we're going to get the chance to take us up to 100. Milton Keynes is now less than 18 miles away. This journey has just absolutely flown by. This has been a great drive so far. I've really liked this one. This downhill section that we are fast approaching might help with acceleration. I mean, I doubt it, but it might do. In fact, yeah, it is only 1 in 295, so it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. So Cheddington is the next station, but we are not stopping there. So we're at 93, this is the fastest we've done. $95. Now, can we reach 3 figures? So here is Cheddington Station. Not a particularly memorable one, really isn't very much here. So we're at 99, just another 1 mph. Trouble is, once we do reach it, I've then got to sort of throttle down a bit. But there we go, 100. Well, I don't want to be speeding, but yeah, at least we know we can do it. In fact, we did it quite easily. I reckon we can... well, we could certainly be speeding on this section anyway. Oh, and we get a trackside view. I do really like that London Midland livery. Looks great. We get another trackside view. And another. Monsieur. With these trackside views, you are really spoiling us. But we have Leighton Buzzard fast approaching. We've really got to start some braking here. Another 390 goes by. But unlike the last one we passed, that one was actually moving. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get the whole train on at Leighton Buzzard here. It's not a small station as such, but yeah, we are fast approaching the end ramps already. I did end up overshooting it, although not according to the route display there, so let's take a look. Yeah, see, that's absolutely fine, but once again, yeah, these two doors not opening. The rest are. If you look at the rear, yeah, the rear is absolutely fine. Those doors opened okay, but yeah, not the front ones. Anyway, yes, this is Leighton Buzzard. I am supposed to answer that guard signal, but right, next stop is Bletchley. That is our penultimate stop. So this tunnel we're approaching is fairly short. I won't even bother putting the lights on. More trackside views. we're now in a 100 zone. It's not like we don't know that we can do 100 in this. We're now very well aware that it is doable. We finally get an overhead view. So we're up to 90 again, but we do now, yeah, there's a 90 mph speed limit coming up in a mile and a half. Got all about me tea, and it's yeah, lukewarm, just how I like it. So in the 90 zone now, and Bletchley is coming up. Didn't mean to, yeah, take the brakes off completely. I did start braking a bit too early. Bletchley is yeah, a bit stuttery. There's a lot of stuff being rendered around here. Oh, so yeah, that was in emergency braking. I did not want that. Oh, I think I've overshot very slightly. Yeah, it is very slightly. Once again, no problems getting out of there. It's yeah. I seem to be saying that at just about every stop. So anyway, this is Bletchley. This is our penultimate stop, or at least the penultimate stop as far as we can do. So the original request was to go on to Northampton. It's definitely a route I need to get, because it is quite a glaring omission from the West Coast main line, and that's even when you consider the fact that, yeah, the part from either Birmingham or Stafford to Preston is missing. But yeah, not having the Northampton Loop is a bit ridiculous. Anyway, onwards to our final stop then, Milton Keynes, 3¼ miles away. So into a 90 zone. We do have a 100 zone coming up in just over ½ mile, but yeah, we're unlikely to be able to reach 100 between here and Milton Keynes. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try, but I don't think we're going to manage it. Yeah, we're certainly not going to be making it to 100. We've got a hefty old speed reduction down to 40 as we approach Milton Keynes. You'd think from the amount of times I've done this particular run that I would remember some of this, but no, because I have so many different routes, I can never remember them. The 40 zone, purely so that, yeah, it's purely because we were going over those points there. Well, again, that looks to me like a perfect stop, but yeah. Ah, the door's actually opened. I can't believe it. So there we are. That was London Euston to Milton Keynes in the 12 car London Midland liveried class 321, and that was a great drive. Really did like that one. It's it's a drive that I never would have, you know, considered doing myself. As I've said a few times in the videos, 321 is not a loco that really grabs me. But that was really, really good. Really did like that one. So yeah, thanks to WLTE Train Plane and Busmaster 7014 for yeah, requesting that one, because if it weren't for that, I would never have yeah, never would have done that route myself. Operational errors: one, speeding, and that was, well, I hadn't even left the platform of Euston when I got that, and after that, completely clear run. So that really should have been a clear run. That was a total bollocks up on my part right at the start. There we go. Yeah, great stuff that. So that brings this video to an end, and we will see you in the next one.